Good morning, students. Our today's topic in the subject of business studies O levels is leadership styles. So this is very important topic. The question from this topic has frequently come in the paper. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start now. And first we are going to read the definition of the leadership. Leadership is the process of organizing and influencing others to achieve the objectives and goals of the business or organization. Next thing that we are going to read are the characteristics of a leader. So number one characteristic is proactive versus reactive. The exceptional leader is always thinking 3 steps ahead. So whatever your employees are of the level, you should be definitely at the upper level. So this is the first characteristic of a leader. Then second is flexible and adaptable. An effective leader will adapt to new surroundings and situations. He must not be rigid to the old ideas or stuck to his own ideas. He must listen and must be able to be a flexible and adaptable person, doing his or her best to adjust. Next is a good communicator. As a leader, one must listen a lot. You must be willing to work to understand the needs and desires of the others. So you must be able to communicate with the others. You must be able to give your ideas to the others and take the ideas of the others. He must be respectful. Treating others with respect will ultimately earn respect. The next characteristic is quite confident. He must be assured of himself with humble intentions. The next characteristic of a leader is open-minded. Work to consider all options when making decisions. He must be open-minded. He must not be close-minded. So he must not stuck to an idea. He must be ready to accept and listen new ideas, maybe new ideas better than his own. So he must be open-minded, work to consider all options when making decisions. A strong leader will evaluate the input from all interested parties and work for the betterment of the whole. The next characteristic is rewarding. An exceptional leader will recognize the efforts of the others and reinforce those actions. We will enjoy being recognized for our actions. So rewarding is a very important characteristic of a leader. So when you reward someone for his good efforts, he encouraged more, he motivate more. So this is a very important characteristic of a leader. Next is he must be open to change. A leader will take into account all options of view and will be willing to change a policy, program, cultural tradition that is outdated or no longer beneficial to the group as a whole. Next is delegator. An exceptional leader realizes that she cannot accomplish everything on his own. As a leader, he or she must know the talents and interests of the people around him or her, thus delegating tasks accordingly. The next characteristic is initiative. A leader should work to be the motivator and initiator. She must be a key element in the planning and implementing of new ideas, programs, policies, events, etc. So he must not afraid to accept the new ideas, new situations. He must be an initiator, but at the same time, he must be able to analyze the good one. So if an idea is looking good, then he must be an initiator to accept it and start in his business that will be beneficial to the business. Okay, now we are going to start the styles of the leadership. The first type or style of the leadership that we are going to read is the autocratic, that is authoritarian leadership. This is the approach where the leader makes all the decisions. He does not consult with the others. He insists on complete obedience and compliance. He does not want the objection from the employees. He want complete obedience and compliance. He keeps apart from the other employees. This type of the leader is not social, and he does not like to sit with his employees and discuss things. He always keep apart from the employees. He or she follows a centralized system of the communication from the top to down. He does not like the opinions or advices from the down to top. He she only tells employees what they need to know, like they does not discuss the small things. They just give the orders, and they only tell the employees what they need to know. He or she does not encourage feedback from the employees, because he she only wants the complete obedience and compliance. So they does not want feedback, they just give the orders. By virtue of their position and job responsibilities, they not only control the efforts of the team, but monitor them for completion, often under close scrutiny. When it is used, the autocratic leadership style is best used in this situation where control is necessary, often where there is a little margin for the error, like dangerous situations. This style of the leadership is very best. When conditions are dangerous, rigid rules can keep people out of the harm's way. Many times the subordinate staff is inexperienced or unfamiliar with the type of the work, and heavy oversight is necessary. Next situation is in organization where a target is required to achieve in minimum time. So these are the situations in which autocratic or authoritarian leadership style is best. Good fits for autocratic leadership in military, in manufacturing, in construction. Okay, the advantages of this type of this style of the leadership is decisions can be taken quickly and effectively. Autocratic leaders do not have to worry about recognizing and responding to followers' emotions, because they are very rigid. They are emotionless. They does not care the emotions of the others. Okay, dangerous work environments or situations requiring complicated tasks with no room for errors, such as safety inspections, prosper under autocratic leadership, since each depends on the control. In addition, companies may turn to autocratic leadership for urgent short-term results. So in these situations, this is the best system. The autocratic leadership style is also good for low skilled tasks, such as directing employees to make copies or file papers, because in this type of the work, feedback is not required, only orders are necessary, and work done is important. In addition, bosses may need to use do it or else type of the autocratic leadership to ensure that unmotivated employees complete their assigned work. But the disadvantages are also there. So the first disadvantage is little or no communication between the leadership and this staff. So this is a demotivating factor for the staff when leadership does not talk to them. The second disadvantage is staff feels no sense of the participation, which leads to reduced job satisfaction. No satisfaction and motivation to work. A great, a great deal of the supervision is required to meet targets that are imposed on workers who are not very motivated. So once you are there, they will work. But if you are not there, so it is not the guarantee that they will work, because you have adopted a very rigid style of the leadership. Bad for highly skilled and motivated workers, because very highly skilled and motivated workers cannot work in this type of the leadership. The autocratic style is most effective when the leader is present. Once the autocratic leader is gone, there is no guarantee that team members will keep working. Since They take full responsibility for team decisions and review of a team's work. Autocratic leaders are extremely busy, which can lead to high stress and even health problems because they are busy all the time, because they are not delegating their work. They are doing all the work on their own, only supervising. So they are supervising, not doing their own work, but also supervising the work of the others. So they are busy all the time. So this may lead to high stress and health problems. Autocrats do not build teams because they are not interested in the dynamics of the teams. The next style that we are going to read is the democratic uh, or participative leadership. In this type of the leadership involves a team guided by the leader, where all individuals are involved in the decision making process to determine what needs to be done and how it should be done, because this is a democratic leadership style. So everyone is involved in the discussion, in the decision making process. So this is very encouraging for highly skilled and motivated workers. The group's leader has the authority to make the final decision of the group. So this is the right of the leader. He or she discuss with everyone, but the decision making authority is with the leader. So here is a picture that shows the leadership of the democratic style. So everyone is sitting around the table and discussing the problem. Okay, when it is used, when situations change frequently, democratic leadership offers a great deal of the flexibility to adapt to better ways of doing things. So, in a situation where the situation change frequently, this type of the leadership style is best. Democratic leadership style can bring the best out of any experienced and professional team. It capitalizes on their skills and talents by letting them share their views rather than simply expecting them to conform. So, this type of the leadership requires highly skilled and motivated workers, so that if you discuss something with them, they must be able to participate and must give some ideas. And for this, better qualification, experience, and skills are very necessary. Good fits for democratic leadership: creative groups, advertising, designing. So these type of the works are best for democratic leadership. Ideas need to flow in creative environments to create new concepts and designs. The second situation in which this type of the style is best is consultation, or consultants. When paid to explore problems and find solutions, your role will be to explore the possibilities in depth, and that means there has to be a great deal of the exploration and open discussions. Next situation is much of the service industry. New ideas allow for more flexibility to changing the customer's demand, because service industry is an industry in which you give your services. For example, if you are a lawyer, if you are a teacher, if you are a plumber, so actually first you meet with your client and discuss the ideas, and after discussion, through discussion, you make some kind of the decisions, you make some kind of the solution. So in service industry, this is the best type of the leadership style. Next is education. Few places need to be open to different ideas than education, both by educators and their students. So in a classroom, educationists and students must be very open. They must discuss the topic openly, so that the difficulties which are in the minds of the students must be consulted with the teacher. So this type of the leadership style is very helpful in education. Here are the advantages of the democratic leadership style. Democratically derived solutions nearly always last the longest. The democratic process is such that the solution is under continuous review because the persons are continually reviewing the solution. So more and more better solution is there. Democrats often think innovatively or at least encourage others to do so they can drive solutions to complex strategic problems because more than one minds work on the same problem. So this is the very best way for the solutions to complex and strategic problems. Led by democratic leaders tend to be strong and sportive because everybody's opinion is taken into account. So when everybody's opinion is taken into account, they get experienced. So gradually the teams are built up. So this is another very strong advantage. Democratic organizations are more adaptable, responsive, and sustainable because every person is involved in the work. So this is sustainable, more adaptable because you respect the opinions of each other and you respond to each other. So this is another advantage. At the same time, there are some disadvantages of this type of the leadership. The process of the consultation can turn into procrastination. And if a business has an urgent issue or project, Democrats cannot normally work to these time scales because if the urgent issue is there, time will be limited. But democratic style is actually everyone give his opinion, and it is very hard to reach some idea which is adaptable to everyone. So this is the disadvantage. Okay, in the middle of the crisis, there is not normally time to talk to everyone concerned. So this type of the leadership is not best in the middle of the crisis. The democratic leadership requires some favorable conditions. In that is that the labor must be literate, informed, and organized. And this is not the case always. This approach assumes that all workers are genuinely interested in organization and that their individuals are goals successfully fused with the organizational goals. This assumption may not always be valid because all the workers are not sincere, 100% sincere with the organization. Some group members may feel alienated if their ideas are not accepted for action because when you discuss something in a group, everyone's mental abilities and education and experience is not equal. So definitely if you not accept the idea of someone and accept the idea of the other, so some people will feel alienated. Okay, this is a disadvantage. Okay, next one is some managers may be uncomfortable with this approach because they may fear erosion of their power base because definitely when you discuss with the everyone, your power will be eroded and their control over labor. Okay, next type of the leadership style that we are going to read is the laissez-faire or delegative leadership. The laissez-faire approach of the leadership can also be called the hands-off, free rein, and the delegative approach. They believe that people excel when they are left alone to respond to their responsibilities and obligations in their own ways. When it is used, this laissez-faire system works best in the groups of the experienced, educated, and highly skilled employees, such as staff specialists or consultants who are accustomed to working in team environments. So because everyone is skilled, everyone is experienced, and everyone is educated, so if you left work over them or you delegate responsibilities to them, the work will be best because everyone is skilled and experienced and educated. An example of this style of the leadership in the public services is if there was a murder investigation and someone gets sent to the scenes of the crime, they know what they are there to do because the person is trained for the job. So the work is left to him or her, and he is allowed to go there and investigate according to his or her style, and they can then be left there to do it without any supervision needed. Characteristics of the laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership is characterized by very little guidance from leaders because you left the work to the staff, complete freedom for the followers to make decisions. Leaders provide the tools and resources needed, and the rest of the work will be done by the employees. Group members are expected to solve problems on their own. Employees are informed of the main business objectives, and the role of the leader is very limited. So these are the characteristics of laissez-faire leadership. The advantages of this type of the leadership style is encourages workers to get involved in the decision making process, allows maximum flexibility within the organization, high job satisfaction and morale, scope of the development for the followers because they get experience more and more. So scope of the development, no negative feeling in the group. But the thing required in this type of the leadership style is your staff must be educated, highly skilled, and highly motivated. Okay, but the disadvantages are also there. The first one is many workers do not have the experience to make decisions, and this may result in the delays, confusions. So this is the first disadvantage. Second is leadership vacuum may be filled by other members of the group, leading to alternative leadership. So there will be conflict in the leadership then, because when a person is taking decision on his own, so definitely at one time he will challenge the leader. It proves poor management and makes the employees lose their sense of the direction and focus. The disinterest of the management and leadership causes the employees to become less interested in their job, and their dissatisfaction increases because management is not taking interest in the work, and the work is left to the employees. So this is a demotivating factor at the same time. Next, disadvantages and other drawback to allowing team members to work on their own is that it becomes difficult to credit the appropriate person for a job well done, and conversely to figure out who is responsible when things go wrong. So you cannot make responsible someone for the success or for the failure. Under this style of the leadership, there is no leadership at all. Okay, factors affecting this style of the leadership. The type of the workforce. So because the type of the workforce matters, if the you have to see the workforce is experienced or not experienced, or to some extent they are experienced, highly educated or illiterate, or to some extent they are educated. So the type of the workforce matters. If the workforce is skilled, confident, and experienced, a democratic approach would be more beneficial. A workforce that lacks initiative and has limited skills would probably require an autocratic style of the leadership with constant supervision instructions. Next thing that matters is the size of the group in the leadership style. So a large workforce would probably need a more autocratic form of the leadership to avoid chaos and ensure effective and timely action. The next thing that matters is the time. Time available to complete a task will influence the leadership style. When time is short, the autocratic style would be more effective. Next thing that matters is the type of the task undertaken. If the task requires disciplined and closely monitored efforts, for example, if the situation is dangerous or very sensitive or in the middle of the crisis, so an authoritarian style would be more appropriate, where the task needs a variety of the ideas. So this is the reverse case, where the task needs a variety of the ideas, initiative and group involvement. The democratic style would be better suited. The next thing that matters is the personality traits. If an individual is outgoing and assertive, he may prefer to communicate directly with the subordinate through face-to-face interaction or confrontation, either on the group or individual basis. That is, autocratic or democratic style is suitable. But if he or she is reserved, he might choose to lead by example or rely on written communication. Democratic or laissez-faire style is suitable. Next thing that matters is the level of the control. The level to which a leadership wishes to maintain control also influence leadership style. Some leaders want to be involved in all aspects of the day-to-day operations and decision-making process, which requires the need of the micromanaging. Others may more trusting or their of their subordinates, or may not want to heavy burden of making all decisions, so they tend to take a more hand-off approach by delegating responsibility. So this was the lecture, students. I hope so it will be a easy and understandable lecture for you. So read this lecture again, understand it, learn it, and make your notes. Thank you so much.